Our history is the history of ordinary men and women who sacrificed everything to make life better. Two great nations, one great union. When Samuel Gompers, the first president of the American Federation of Labor, was asked, "What does labor want?" he responded, "We want more schoolhouses and less jails, more books and less arsenals, more learning and less vice, more leisure and less greed, more justice and less revenge." In the late 1800s and early 1900s, independent firefighter organizations formed in Canada and the United States. Then, on February 28, 1918, delegates from 24 fire departments met in Washington, D.C. to form the International Association of Firefighters. Their purpose: to improve wages, hours, and working conditions for rank-and-file firefighters in the United States and Canada. They adopted a constitution, proposed publishing a magazine, and created a fund to benefit the orphan children of firefighters. In its first 2 years, the IAFF grew from 5,400 to 20,000 members. The Great Depression brought social and political changes in both our countries. In Canada, a young Baptist minister named Tommy Douglas became an outspoken leader for working people.
You just look at the history of Canada.
He championed collective bargaining for firefighters and other civil servants, and won universal health care. In the United States, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's labor-friendly administration established many basic protections for working men and women. At the beginning of World War II, hundreds of Canadian brothers enlisted and joined with members of the British Fire Brigades Union battling the firestorms caused by the Blitz. When Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, IAFF members in the U.S. joined their Canadian, British, and Anzac brothers in the European and Pacific theaters of war. Many others served on the home front. Firefighter veterans returned from the war. The IAFF made sure members would return to their firehouses and that disabled firefighters would find positions elsewhere in the fire service. In the 1950s, the IAFF adopted muscular dystrophy as their charity of choice and established the John P. Redmond Foundation to improve the health and safety of professional firefighters. The 1960s saw the establishment of emergency medical response within the fire service. Firefighters began providing emergency medical care. In Canada, IAFF members won binding arbitration in all provinces. In the 1970s, the IAFF persuaded President Ford to sign the Public Safety Officer Benefit Act, providing federal money to the survivors of firefighters killed in the line of duty. The 1980s saw major advancements for firefighter health and safety, and OSHA created minimum acceptable standards for personal protective equipment and training. In the 1990s, the IAFF continued to strengthen its political muscle. In Canada, the first legislative conference focused on PSOB benefits, infectious disease notification, and a national system for identifying hazardous materials. When terrorists attacked New York and Washington on September 11, 2001, more IAFF members perished than at any time in the Union's history. The IAFF raised and distributed $162 million to help the families of our fallen members. The International Union also provided tens of thousands of hours of counseling in the wake of the tragedy. The IAFF won an increase in PSOB benefits for survivors and the passage of the SAFER Act, funding 75,000 new firefighters over a 7-year period. When Hurricanes Katrina, Rita, and Wilma struck, over 200 locals felt the impact. The IAFF immediately established Command Response Headquarters, distributed $1.75 million and essentials such as food, water, and shelter. Today, the IAFF continues to fight to improve firefighters' standard of living, to strengthen health and safety laws, to pass and protect collective bargaining in every state and province, and to secure and guard IAFF members' pensions. Because IAFF members deserve fair pay and benefits comparable to the risk and sacrifice they face every day. The IAFF, 275,000 strong, and more than 3,000 active locals. 2 great nations, 1 great union.